Welcome to the Show Me Arts Show 2014. Every year, Show Me Arts is held here in Jefferson City. This year, more than 500 students from across the state came to the Capitol. On March 12, 2014, the annual Show Me Arts Advocacy Summit took place at the Missouri State Capitol.
Meant so that students and people can lobby for arts education funding and just awareness of the importance of arts education.
Students from across the state came to Jefferson City to perform and also lobby for continued funding of arts education throughout Missouri. Along with students' performances came the meeting with their area state legislators to promote funding of art programs. The purpose of the annual summit is to get students directly involved in what's going on in the state of Missouri and what lawmakers are doing to support the arts.
We are honored to have students. They are the future of our great state of Missouri itself.
The day started out with schools performing in the rotunda, and then performances were moved outside to the Capitol stairs. In between performances, students were given the chance to go on the House floor and see their state legislators in action. Ben Martin, the executive director of the Missouri Alliance for Arts Education, spoke about how important the arts are and how education in the arts is going to be used in the future.
Individuals who have that creative, innovative mindset that the arts teach so well. And I think that's where we're going.
Overall, the day was a huge success, and students were able to experience a day at the Capitol standing up for their arts education. Among the performers were 7 students from the Kansas City Public Schools. Throughout this program, we will take a look at those performers. But first, I got a chance to talk with Missouri Representative and Paseo alumni Brandon Ellington and get his look on arts education.
I believe the foundation of arts education is extremely important, especially when you're talking about kids that come from low-income areas, because it gives you a chance to think outside of the paradox of poverty and despair. So when we're talking about writing, when we're talking about music, when we're talking about dance, these are things that give people in low-income areas in particular a chance to be more than their surroundings.
So coming from Kansas City and being a Paseo Arts Academy alumni, what was kind of your upbringing in the arts, and how did that kind of influence you?
Well, when I went to Paseo, that's when my introduction to the arts actually began. At Paseo, I was a creative writing major, had to listen to classical music, different things that I normally would not pay attention to, but it gave me a foundation to learn myself, in particularly writing, because writing gave me the ability to be honest with myself. And once you're honest with yourself, you can take over the world.
So what are you going to try and do to kind of encourage Missouri state legislators and lawmakers to kind of pursue arts education and the importance of it?
The main thing we can do is have more observation of the arts. So what I try to do is bring up Paseo, and I try to bring them up last year, and I'll definitely be trying to bring them up again for the Malcolm X Day, because the more they see the participation, the more they would be willing to put more resources and more money in the educational services around the arts.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Mr. Ellington. Now for the part that everyone's been waiting for. Here are the 2014 Show Me Arts performances.
I don't know if you've ever been to a poetry slam before, but they are exciting, they're fun, they're quick-moving, lots of great things go on. They've been a form of art that has really developed at an incredible pace over the last 20 years or so. Today, we're proud to recognize a group of Missouri students who have won the first round of the International Youth Poetry Contest called Louder Than a Bomb. And they're right over here, as you can tell. And they are getting ready. I think they've just gotten word that they're getting ready to head on to the semifinals very soon. Is that correct? I think we just got that word. Okay, great. So if you would please welcome Paseo students Unique Hewley, Alton Heron, and Boncherie Mack to our microphones.
How y'all doing?
You need to be loud. Loud.
Okay, this is called Omnipresence. Hello? Is this God? Oh, I'm sorry, Gandhi. See, I've been meaning to call on God, and I've tried, but there's just too many names in the phone book under God. And no, there's no why, see, because I've been living a life of blasphemy, which fastens me into a universal debate where they're asking me, blasting me with questions such as, How do you know God exists? How do you know there's an almighty good and not the almighty opposite? Instead of waiting for an apocalypse, I went searching for what would soon be my greatest accomplishment. Scour 7 continents in less than an hour to find the most dominant fortune teller to tell of the almighty power. But no, she doesn't know. She just foretold of a future of money, brides, and Karma Sutra. But I'm not chasing money or brides. I'm trying to find gods that carry rods that part 7 seas. So I swim 7 seas in search of a priest to tell me of the almighty position. Started studying Christians, then my iPhone turned into a time machine that took me back to the Inquisition. That's 1492. Christians, men of God, ordered any child, man or woman to convert or die under the name of God. So I started studying the Quran, but I didn't have to go so far back in time to find out that this history is filled with a bunch of hate and power, where the weak scoured and fall to their destruction like 2 twin towers, like 2 twin towers, like 2 twin towers. Under the name of Allah, so like sci-fi, I powered up my time machine and journeyed back to the beginning of time. Past the building of pyramids, which I seen them moving bricks with their minds. Past the dinosaur who sat crying, cause he knew his time was up. Cause he actually believed the homeless dinosaur standing on the corner intoxicated with drugs. Past the past, we went lasting crash. My time machine exploded in one motion, the Big Bang. That created a poet, that created this poem. See, God is a poet, writing down conflict and resolution, past and future, and we are students. Students of a God poet that encourages us to do it. So no matter the ethnicity, Christianity, or Islamic race, today we are the same faith. Today we are a race of poets, and no matter you walk out here number 1 or number 4, I want to know that you know, I want to know that you know. Hello? Oh, it's God. I've been calling on you. I've been searching for you. Is it really you? Thank you all.
Put these together.
1. Sedated. 2. Paralyzed.
3.
They stopped my heart.
In reality, I'm dead. Because the blood of my daughter was shedded on the carpet for me to clean up. Not justifying high five.
5 hours of labor to bring you into this world. Now you're gambling with lethal injection. It only takes 5 short minutes, ripping my son's life from him from the inside out. How do you expect me to look into my son's eyes, knowing that the boy I raised didn't hesitate to pull the trigger on a child that is the same age of his own, 6 years old?
My little Gabby was 6 years old when you took her soul. My heart dropped from the sound of a gun cock.
Why?
I love my little princess. Last conversation said I wish I seen Dad less.
Why?
I don't believe in miracles, then anger spoke reality. My mind won't accept the fact that a fatality took place. Now I'm contemplating saying, why you? It should have been me. I hate you. You took my daughter's soul. If I had the chance to kill to be killed, I would kill to be killed for you, Gabby.
It's not like I put the gun in her head, mama. Intentions was never to leave her dead, mama, but instead, mama.
But instead, what?
Push came to shove and I was shoving. Bullets busted, leaving nothing but little Gabby stuck under the bed. Mama tell Gabby's dad, I'm sorry.
I don't forgive you.
I'm sorry.
I'm the mother of a murderer.
I'm the father of the murdered.
Now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take.
How dare you think God got your back? There ain't no place in heaven for a murderer. My conscience is constantly telling me to respond back, but before the judge sentenced you to death, I found out you had a 6-year-old daughter.
What kind of parent leaves his child up late at night?
As we sit in this room of death.
As I sit in the room of death.
As we sit in the room of
my
death.
son kept telling me he had something to get off his chest that would lead him to prison or to death. I didn't know that would come in the same check. More discipline, maybe my son would have listened.
If I checked on my daughter, she would still be alive.
As we sit in this room of death arguing and screaming, I can't justify how they're about to put my son to death. I didn't even see that they injected the first
3.
Sedated.
2.
Paralyzed.
1. They killed my son.
The name of this poem is called Lisa. Imagine I was a girl named Lisa with a big butt and big breasts dressed to impress. You just can't resist because you're so obsessed with me. And every time you think of me, you think of undressing me instead of addressing me. See, Lisa never had no dad, but a mom that taught her so well. Soon mama was like, I taught you better than that. You think you so grown? See, Lisa got caught making loud moans on one Saturday afternoon, and grandma was like, no, Lisa, please don't grow up so soon. And Lisa like, It's my body, it's my mind. I do what I want. If you love me, then I love you. If you're obsessed with me, then I'm obsessed with you. Every guy is not the same, but in his mind, see, he is just the same. See, if you bow down and pray for me, then I will bow down and praise you. 1 + 1 = 2. And mama was like, you so premature, you don't even know if love is even true. If you get hurt in these streets, it's not you, it's me. I don't want you to do the same. But Lisa didn't listen. She was in a hospital bed with a cold flu and didn't know what to do or why she was in that room, but the doctor knew. And when the doctor came in shaking his hand, Lisa couldn't believe what the doctor had just said. See, it all started from a guy named Ted laying in the bed telling her to spread them legs, and the same guy she was so obsessed with didn't want to have nothing to do with her. He was so obsessed with the fact that he hit her first and didn't know he left little Lisa with a cold little curse. See, they say it's a blessing from God to have a baby. And it may be a little stressful to feed that baby or bathe that baby, and mama might be there to help you raise that baby, but it's crazy because Lisa never had no baby. She had HIV. We're gonna bow.
And so we will we'll wish them luck in the next phase of the competition. Great job, guys. Thank you so much. Now for our first recognition of the day. Each year, the Missouri Alliance for Arts Education solicits nominations for awards. Our most important award, I think, is the one for creativity and innovation in teaching. Dr. Valicia Daniels, a native Texan, has been a theater educator for over 20 years. Her career began after she graduated from Texas Tech University with her PhD in theater. She's taught on the middle school, high school, and college levels. She currently teaches at the Paseo Academy of Fine and Performing Arts in Kansas City, Missouri. While there, she's directed everything from children's theater to large-scale musicals, including plays like Noises Off, Nonsense, Barnum, a personal favorite, Godspell, A Raisin in the Sun, Midsummer Night's Dream, and The Marriage of Bet and Boo. Her students write about her. Dr. Daniels, they say, is an educator who uses theater to prepare students for what follows their high school education, whether it is a career in theater or in another field. She strives for excellence and believes that students who take theater courses can greatly benefit from the collaborative nature of their programs, which can not only provide them with an artistic outlet, but also develop their communication skills, self-esteem, appreciation of dramatic literature, and their understanding of history and diverse cultures. Dr. Daniels knows that the concepts and skills taught in theater classes have power and application across the curriculum and throughout our lives. And she emphasizes the applicability of students' work beyond the theater classroom. Another student writes, she is dedicated to providing students with their individualized attention and helping them shape their education toward fulfilling their life goals. Nothing gives her more satisfaction than watching students develop and succeed in her classes. Dr. Daniels knows that all students can benefit from an arts education, whether they are preparing for a career in the professional theater or in another field altogether. It is our honor to name Dr. Valicia Daniels as our 2014 Innovation in Teaching Award winner. Dr. Daniels. She says thank you. And now, to celebrate some of what Dr. Daniels has been teaching at the Paseo, we want to welcome some more of the Paseo students to the stage to perform. We give you Michelle White, Calviano Craddock, I'm sorry, Calvi, and Khalil Odom from the Paseo Academy for the Fine and Performing Arts.
My monologue is from Ever After, the character of Emmett. Well, a long time ago, there was a curse placed on me, and I was turned into a frog. I had to be kissed by a princess in order to turn back into a man. Here's the thing, everyone thinks I was. Turns out she was only half princess. So now, excuse me, So now I'm slowly turning back into a frog. All the other princesses, like Cinderella and Snow White, they're already married now. I haven't found anyone yet to kiss me. Like a fellow and famous amphibian once said, it's not easy being green. Sometimes it's frustrating. Folks, I gotta tell you, living in the swamp isn't all a bed of slime. It can get rough out there. Sure, there was some good times of being a frog, like all those wild Saturday nights. I invited the gang over and we danced all night long. Now that crowd knew how to get down in the mud and party. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Callie Craddock, and I will be performing a monologue called The Stepsister Speaks Out. Hi, I'm Lizzie, Cinderella's other stepsister, and here's my story. It isn't easy being the ugly stepsister. Everybody always feels so sorry for poor little Cinderella. But what about me? I deserve a little sympathy too. Does my fairy godmother ever pop up with a magic wand? Does the prince ever dance with me at the ball? No. The best I can hope for from my pumpkins is a decent piece of pie. And well, as for the rats, they'll be rats with their sneaky eyes and skinny tails nibbling and gnawing at the garbage. I have yet to see one that turned into a coachman. If you ask me, that Cinderella is weird. She most certainly isn't normal. Besides the fact that she has naturally curly hair and wears a size 4.5, she's so good-natured that it's downright sickening. If you had to sweep and clean and dust all day, would you go around singing to the birds? Of course you wouldn't. No sensible person would. Some people think I'm jealous of her, and maybe I am, but with good reason. I substituted on 700 calories a day for 3 weeks before the ball. I did my leg lift exercises faithfully. I had a perm, a facial, and a manicure, bought a new dress, red velvet, designer label. I thought to myself, Princey, here I come. But there was a twist.
Lizzie was riding in the car with 3 strangers, 1 brother and 1 sister. The driver smoking a blunt, telling her not to be a bad influence on him, but it was a little too late. But her sister was sitting beside her doing her nighttime job when she looks at her and she tells her, no, Lizzie, don't look, you're a little too young. But by then it was too late. So what you was telling her not to see is what you saw when you were a child. The driver looks back with a strange thought with his hands in his pants, and Lizzie decides to move so quickly so she doesn't get hit with a perverted hand. But by the time he reached back to touch the wheel, it was too late. He swerved to the other side and he hit what he thought was just a bump in the road. But Lizzie's brother was sitting there slouched over the seat with blood dripping down his cheek, and Lizzie's sister was sitting on the cold pavement not looking at her. But so Lizzie was the only one left. So Lizzie ran over to see what they just hit. So who am I? I'm just a person telling you Lizzie's story. Thank you.
Each year, the Paseo, along with hundreds of schools around the country, enters the English-Speaking Union Shakespeare Performance Contest. This national contest allows each school in a city with an English-Speaking Union branch the chance to send 1 student to the regional finals sponsored by that individual branch. For over 30 years now, the Kansas City branch, which is represented back here at this table by Mr. Jeff Stabel, has been sponsoring this contest as part of their mission to use the English language as a tool to create better understanding among people throughout the world. This year's winner is also a Paseo student. McKenna Lockhart will now give us her winning performance of both the role of Phoebe from As You Like It, and she'll also let us hear sonnet number 24 from William Shakespeare.
Is it that one? Okay. Sorry guys, my voice is a little gone, but I'm gonna try, okay? I think not that I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words yet? Words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. 'Tis a pretty youth, not very pretty, But sure, he's proud, yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion. And no faster did his tongue make offense than his eye did heal it up. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His like is but so-so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between a dusty rose and a mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I had, would have gone so near as to fall in love with him. Oh, but not I. No, for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. But I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to chide at me? He called my eyes black and my hair black. Now I am remember scorned at me. But that's all one. Omittance is no coittance. I shall write him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it for me. Wilt thou, Silvius? Thank you. Mine eye hath played the painter, and steeled thy beauty's form in table of my heart. My body is the frame wherein 'tis held, and perspective, it is best painter's art. For through the painter must you see his skill, to find where your true image pictured lies, that in my bosom shop is hanging still, that hath his windows glazed with thine eyes. Now see what good turns eyes, for eyes have done. Mine eyes have drawn thy shape, and thine for me are windows to my breast, through which the sun delights to peep, to gaze therein on thee. But eyes, this cunning want to grace their art, they see but what is on the outside, know not the heart. Thank you.
Now, I want to say a couple things about Makeda here. She is now, as the winner of the Kansas City branch, going to be able to go to the national contest in New York City and compete against branches from around the country. I think there are 60 some odd branches that will have contestants there. And so Makeda's there, all expenses paid, so she doesn't have to worry about a thing. And if she happens to be the first place winner, which the Kansas City branch is happy to say that we've had 2 of those in the past, if she happens to be that first place winner, she will then be spending the summer at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London on a fully paid scholarship studying over there. And if we could have all of the Paseo students up here right now, and Dr. Daniels as well, if you could come up, we'd like to get a picture of the group of you up here in front. Test. Thank you so much, Paseo. Paseo's been one of our most loyal supporters for this program, and I think they've performed 3 years in a row now, students from Paseo. So thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us, and also a big thanks to our production crew, Ray Bradley and Diane Keeler. Remember to keep supporting the arts and have a great day.
My poem was about, well, it was called Omnipresence, but to me it was more about self-realization than anything, because like I've been studying a lot of philosophers and or moral teachers, and like they say we in an aeon of self-realization, and to make a poem about God meant to me there's so many gods. I want to find the right one, and on my search to finding the right one, I felt like I found out that we are more gods than these things we make up in our head anyway. So that's what my poem about.
And I have a poem called Lisa, and the moral of this, basically this story is kind of telling a story about my friend Jasmine, and I use Lisa for another name for her. And basically this whole story, this whole poem is kind of telling how it all kind of went down, how she was like, she didn't want to like obey her mom, and she was out on the streets doing different things with guys and different things with like people that she wasn't really supposed to be associated with, and her family kind of wanted her to stop, but she didn't want to really listen. She thought that, you know, the world kind of revolved around her, and that nothing would really happen, because she kind of thought that she knew everything, but she didn't really. And I don't know the name of a guy who actually gave it to her, but I know that I just used a guy named Ted or whatever to kind of put a focal point, and she basically caught HIV from sleeping around with other people, and her mom actually thought she was pregnant because she was like sick and stuff, so, but she really kind of had HIV, and I mean, she's still living today, but yeah.
My poem was about a girl named Lizzie. I wrote this poem because every time I see on the news, I always hear something about a little kid dying, or somebody dying, or someone's family dying, leaving a little girl. But this time I wrote it because this girl, her name was Morgan, and she was the only one left in the car. She was riding with her brother and her sister. And when they was riding, and when they was riding together, her brother's friend had tried to molest her. And when he tried to molest her, he actually got into a car wreck. When he got into the car wreck, it left her brother dead, her sister dead, and her father dead.
Well, this poem is about a little girl named Gabby who was up late night watching TV, and a guy, well, randomly kind of came to rob the house or whatever, and accidentally killed his daughter, like killed a man's daughter, and like the guy, yeah, it was an accident. And so like the guy kind of like really wanted to apologize for it, and he wanted forgiveness for it, but he got sentenced to death row, and his mother was kind of like blaming herself and whatever, and the father is like, you know, he wants the revenge, but he doesn't believe in kind of like, you know, getting equal with odds or whatever. So my role in this whole poem is being the father, and I'm kind of like focusing on like, you know, where was I at the time? I wish I was there, because, you know, who wants to lose their daughter? And
my role in the poem was I was blaming myself and my son for putting himself in this situation. I didn't understand why he would do that. I started to go into maybe if I would have disciplined him more or something like that, and how I can't look into his eyes anymore. I just don't understand why he would go and kill someone, and now I have to look at him die, and I don't think that that's right. And towards the end, the last line is they killed my son, and it's just like I can't believe we're even in this situation. And he's letting me know that it was an accident. He didn't mean to. And you know, in the poem, he has a daughter that's the same age as the girl that he killed. And now it's just like I don't understand how he could ever do this. And I'm just going through those type of emotions and just letting him know, like, I don't understand why he would do this.
My role in the play is the killer. I'm the murderer, and I had to go from a perspective of being in jail for some years or months or years already, knowing I'm on death row and trying to forgive myself for killing his son.